Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Our friend Ann Fitzgerald has left a comment. The comment reads, "They are such assholes. Aren't they humiliated by their behavior?" And I appreciate the comment, and I want to talk about that today. If you guys remember a while back, we did a video referencing Sam Vaknin's sort of explanation about what was happening to him. That kind of, the devil made me do it. He referred to himself as being led, driven, motivated by an entity, an evil entity. And I think that this is at the core of it. But it's never that simple with these things. There's this huge divide, this mind roasting contradiction. When you think of some of the contradictions, they think they're great, they think they're bulletproof, yet they're riddled with shame and humiliation and guilt. Absolute insanity. How those two things merge in one mind is absolutely out of this world. The fear, that horrendous, soul-wrenching fear that they're going to be abandoned. So instead of just allowing someone to love them, instead of just being kind and respectful and appreciative of that love, no. That love, that fear of abandonment drives them to force the abandonment, literally force the abandonment. Everything is a contradiction. It's really quite fascinating when you think of all these extreme opposites just colliding in these empty meat suits, brains. I mean, God knows what's going on in there, but it ain't good. Nothing ever happens with these things by accident. These pieces of shit are constantly plotting evil against those closest to them, those who have been deemed targets and victims. So nothing happens by chance. They are extremely calculated in their behavior and attacks. So they know exactly what they're doing. Of course they know. They've been plotting it. So when they execute this horrendous chaos and insanity and the infidelity and the lying and the smear campaigns and the mirroring and the gaslighting, oh God, they know what they're doing. They do it with great intent, as we've seen many times, where every single special occasion with these guys, be it a birthday or Valentine's Day, whatever it is, it's going shit show sideways. They've planned it that way. They'll use these events to, feeling like it's going to inflict more harm on you. They want to get some bang for their buck, so they will, section off certain holidays and special events like anniversaries and things like that to inflict more harm. Maybe something tragic happens in your life. Your dog dies, you lose your job. They wait, harboring this assault against you, and as soon as you're down, they just lunge in and start kicking you. Everything is happening with great intention, so none of it's an accident, and they most certainly know exactly what they're doing. You might ask yourself, how can these pieces of shit plot evil, execute the evil, delight in the evil, and then assume no responsibility? In fact, blame you for it, blame me for it, blame anybody for it, but never attach themselves to it. It really does fall back to those comments Sam Vaknin made, regarding his ability to just sever himself from it, to step back like he's watching a movie, like his body was occupied by some demonic force. It's that old saying, the devil made me do it. Now, a drug addict may get up in the morning and think, today I'm not going to do any drugs. But as they start to detox off the drugs and the need for drugs becomes more and more desperate, they're going to go out and they're going to get drugs. Well, the same with these things. Hurting people is their supply. Seeing the look of pain and suffering and misery on someone's face, someone who loves them, absolutely fills up that empty soul of theirs. Now, this is the sad part about this, and it really is a tragedy. As they fill up with that moment of supply, it depletes as quick as it comes in. So there they are again, broken, empty, shells. I mean, dead. meat suits, just powered by cruelty and insanity. They know exactly what's happening, and no, they, well, they do, but they don't. Again, the contradiction. Yes, they feel shame and humiliation, but they can't attach it to themselves, because at the core of who and what they are is nothing but shame and humiliation. So they're at shame and humiliation saturation. There's just no more room. So they've got to fling it off immediately, severing it from themselves, in no way attaching themselves to it. They're incapable of assuming responsibility or even understanding that they did it, because they go right into, I didn't do that, the devil made me do it. I mean, they know they did it, but they're not emotionally attached to it. Like, logically, they know they did it, they plotted it, but on an emotional, deeper, more spiritual level, I mean, they've got no souls, no spirits, so there's nothing to attach to, so they just fling it right off. On one hand, they are truly humiliated, but on the other hand, they're thrilled, like they're pleased because they got that momentary buzz. Now, I could see possibly if they were to hurt someone and this flood of supply would stay with them for a year, and they were kind of full as people, even though it would be full of yuck, but it's not like that. It comes in and then depletes away very quickly. So immediately they need more supply, more supply, more supply. Could you imagine doing something so horrendous to someone that loved you for a split second of supply? So to answer Anne's question, yes, they're humiliated, and no, they're not. Everything is such a contradiction. Everything flies in the face of sanity, all of it. They are humiliated, but are at saturation, so cannot possibly absorb one more bit of humiliation, so they got to fling it off, blame someone else, detach themselves from it, and then turn it around on you and start their projection bullshit. It was your fault. It would never have happened if you had made them feel safer or more secure, or you were a better partner, or you weren't so crazy, or you weren't bipolar, or you didn't need Prozac. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. You know, this has been the weirdest part of this whole thing. Well, actually, there's been a lot of weird parts, but it's the contradiction. It's absolute insanity. And I worry sometimes that we're all like getting worse brain damage from trying to make sense out of utter insanity. We've said this saying many times. Trying to reason with a narcissist is like trying to nail jello to a tree. And that's really what it comes down to. I think in a split second, they feel a sense of humiliation, but immediately have to throw that off themselves. They simply can't attach themselves to it. And that in itself is enough to just wash your hands of it and get the hell out of there, because part of the whole human experience is about personal growth. It's about recognizing your shortcomings and trying to grow beyond that. Now, if you're in a continuous state of harming people, destroying lives, creating chaos, injuring people to the point that their lives are ruined and they're now suicidal, you would think that you would take a look at this and stop it, but they can't. They love it. They absolutely love it. They are soul vampires, and they have but one purpose. All of them is to destroy you. And if you're still with your narc, or you're pondering going back with your narc, or you're being hoovered right now and you're wondering, if they're any better, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd get as far away as humanly possible. To be honest with you, a year out now, had I stayed, I probably would have killed myself. I had reached a point of utter misery where I truly could not have gone on any longer in it. Sam Vaknin concluded it was like watching a movie, like you were watching someone else do these horrible things. In fact, he referenced the movie Night of the Body Snatchers, and that summed it up for me. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you guys are having a great narc